Greetings everyone to Demonic Redemption, and happy Halloween to you all. Before we begin, I must apologize. I promised more cross reviews this year, and that didn't happen. One of the reasons is because going to the site of which I've been getting the scans from, apparently can't access the chapters currently. So, there's that. So, most likely I'll have to wait till next year. Which means, since I've just done the surprise Halloween review, that just leaves me with DarkStalkers issue 6. The final chapter of volume 1. So, yeah. Which means it'll probably be a while before I get to volume 2. Hopefully I do it before next year. But with that said, let's not waste any more time and dive right in. The cover art for this, or at least the cover I got, is merely just a pin-up shot of Morgan and her lesser busty sister/clone Lilith. You know, I still like the cover for, well, obvious reasons. As opposed to the alternate cover of BB Bonnet shooting skeletons, which kind of gives you some insight of one of the stories in the comics. Or in this particular comic. Just not the complete story. So our comic begins with meteorologist looking at a giant glowing star, as it turns out to be Pyron, and making his way to Earth in order to eat it. Yes, Pyron, as some of you may recall, from what, 3 years ago now? 4 years ago? Well, Pyron is basically Galactus. And, gonna be honest, I hope the bout between him and the Darkstalkers is a little more compelling to what we got than the Night Warriors OVA. We then cut to the realm of the Makai, where Morgan is told by her butlers that she needs to be seen by her father, as she finds out that he's a shadow of his former self. Because, of course, Belial has been dying, and apparently as a result his body's faded, and now all is left is a shadow, which by the next full moon will also fade. Gee, that's pretty grim. I mean, I get that this is called Darkstalkers, but come on. So after being made aware of her father's inevitable fate, Morgan then takes it upon herself to leave the realm of the Makai and deal with Dimitri. Sure, she's gonna fare very well given her power level. No, really, Dimitri's had 100 years to recuperate his power. I don't see Morgan faring too well. We then cut to Hanya and Bishamon recalling how they first met, as Bishamon is apparently losing his memory. His amnesia is becoming so bad that he's even forgotten how he murdered his own wife in cold blood. Here's where I have to be a bit honest. You see, when I first read this, back in 2005 or so, even I was kind of asking, okay, who was this O-Rin to Bishamon? I mean, what connection did she have to him? Was she his sister? Wife? Fiance? Friend? And it turned out, upon doing research shortly thereafter, I come to find out that, yeah, she was his wife. Murdered his own wife. We then cut to Donovan Baines struggling with his currently unknown demon blood as he urges Anita to run before she uses her own power to calm him down. I said currently unknown because, as a lot of Darkstalkers fans are probably going to tell me, upon watching this review, oh, Donovan Bane is a dumb peer. Yeah, pretty much like Blade from the Marvel Universe and D from Vampire Hunter D. Donovan Bane is half human, half vampire. But they don't outright state that in the first 6 issues of this comic. Heck, unless you play the games, you don't really know. And admittedly, the only Darkstalkers game I have played was the first one. So, yeah, I was pretty much left in the dark as to what Donovan Bane was. Until I watched the OVA, where Yenko, his older sister Lynn, I believe her name is, calls him a dumb peer upon watching him leave. In which she was raised, where Tobin spends the night before he's startled by a child who finds it cool that he's a werewolf. And yeah, understandably, werewolves are pretty cool. Especially John here, with his abilities. And so our main story ends with Morgan taking the train while making her way to confront Dimitri. From what I understand, it wouldn't be until a full few years until we got a follow-up to the story of Volume 2, which again I still haven't read to this day. This came out in 2006 and I still have not read the follow-up. I'm ashamed. Anyway, on to the backstory. Our backstory, of course, involves baby Bonnie Hood roaming through the woods before she meets a werewolf who apparently killed her parents before she ends up killing him and mounting his head on a wall. Yeah, I gotta say, for Little Red Riding Hood-esque character, she's not that sweet and innocent. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, she's a gun-toting psychotic. But yeah, that pretty much ends issue 6. What I think of it? Nah. I still like the art style, although Scotty Young's art style for the backstory kinda is a little for me, even though I do enjoy the art style from having read his Human Torch miniseries. But that's beside the point. It's a slower paced issue with less action than you'd probably expect, so if you come into this expecting action, pretty much like the fighting games, don't. And you might, keyword might, be able to enjoy this a little bit more. But, yeah, that wraps up our Halloween reviews for the year. Yeah. Anyway, this is Demonic Redemption signing out, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a nice day.
Du hast mich.